So trading in a choppy market is probably one of the worst things about trading. You're constantly waiting for an entry point, or you're constantly chasing, and it does get aggravating for many. But the thing about a choppy market is, if you know ahead of time that it's going to be a choppy market, you may take advantage of the opportunities that are presented, such as looking at other trades that are moving and also being patient and setting up the right entry point. There's many different strategies that are currently available, but you don't want to get sucked into getting chopped up in these markets. We had an amazing day yesterday and this week, and these are the days where option premium sellers take full advantage of the excitement in the market, of the high implied volatility. So it's up to you to think 10 steps ahead and be fully aware of when to recognize a choppy market. So in today's session, we're going to be talking about what happened today and how we knew it was going to be a choppy market. So let's get straight into it. So currently in our war room, we had given the report that it's very possible that the market can start to move here, but the bullish gamma was at 6100. This is where we start to recognize that the market's moving directly in the upside direction, and the market is bearish once you get under the 6070. Okay, so pretty much those are the parameters. Now we also shared our neutral range, which is 6080 and 6090. Okay, this neutral range is where I highlight my blue shade that you see over here to pretty much let us know that this is going to be a very chop zone range, and this is where you pretty much want to be very careful. Okay, trading in these ranges can often cause significant losses, especially for those traders that are constantly scalping and not waiting for the right setups. So we mentioned in our prediction here as well, as I said that we're likely to see another rally only if SPX gets through 6100. Did not happen. Semiconductors can run, but the Dow is down, so we might see a rotation. And I also shared in my morning call that basically you want to watch a lot of the WAP zones. You want to watch the entry points, and we also shared information in our pre-market notes where you can see the ideal premium for the 6100 call. So that 6100 call can go to 80 cents. They were around $3. I mentioned 60, 80, 90 call is also a 1.5 if you like them. Okay, so that's going to be one of the trades that set us up for a nice entry point earlier today. The trades that we had taken today is that, first of all, we took massive profits on our basically on our MSTR call. So if we start off the day here, we had our MSTR winner. So we bought 650 calls for next week, and the thing about this here is that we knew that, you know, MSTR can either explode or dump. Today it definitely dumped, but what we did here is that we had a nice 200% winner, and we rolled into a smaller position for next week. So we had the 450 calls on Tuesday that went down over 80%. I told my team that it's important that when it comes to trading MSTR, it doesn't matter about precisely finding the right entry point. It's all about being in the trade. You can see the trade down 80%, 100%, but the goal is that you don't do any stop losses on this play, because what the characteristics of this stock is that it has a huge implied volatility. And the key thing to remember here is that MSTR has news over the weekend where you have Microsoft possibly being added. They're having a meeting where they're going to decide should they add Bitcoin to their balance sheet, and you know, they had their second meeting with Saylor. So Microsoft and MSTR was definitely on the watch list earlier today. So we got this SPX 6060 put here. It did go up 30% at one time, but it wasn't really the ideal play. We sold our NVIDIA calls. That was a roll up because we knew that the semiconductors were looking weaker. We got out of Broadcom, and you know, pretty much we were holding a sizable portfolio. I always give my traders an update of my trades and my statements. We use this Excel spreadsheet for mentorship purposes to pretty much explain the theory behind each trade here. As you guys can see, we share information about Was it a scalp? Was it a a news-based play? So all that information is shared here. Did it hit the 50% minimum target range? Because in my room here, I always say that if the stock or trade hits minimum 50%, the option, then it's up to you whether you want to sell. If it does, then I know I hit my quota for that play. So that's why we also use this tracker to highlight those specific stuff that you can't really get in these statements. And we're starting to do that again. Okay, so we knew that Tesla was very strong here, but we couldn't really get a nice entry. So Tesla today started to really break out above 365. It just ripped all the way to around 375, and it looks like Tesla still has potential movement at around 380 here. So as we go along throughout the day, we called out other beautiful trades such as PLTR. This absolutely ran right at the open, and we got this Microsoft 450 calls. Microsoft did well. They were both moving, PLTR, Microsoft, and you can see right over here that they start to do very well. We got this APP as well for next week. This is a stock that constantly continues to run. It's something that I've been watching for quite some time, but I never really dig deep into it, right? Because we never really traded it before. But it's on an absolute tear and continues to push higher. So we're watching this very carefully here because it looks like it may get to around 430 down the line here, and it looks like a stock that may potentially squeeze. So keep an eye on that as well. We called out the scalp, that 60-90 call. That was a fast 40 to 50% play, and pretty much that was a story for today. There was a lot of chop in this market here, and the thing I really want to talk about is what can you do in this situation here, okay? So when you recognize that the S&P 500 and you really want to get some trades in, is trading in this neutral range, a couple of things which you want to know here is you want to treat the WAP as your best friend here, okay? You want to look at the premiums and identify that when they, let's just say, the S&P 500 gets to the upper WAP, let's just say for example, what is the strike that's within range? So in this case, you're trading the 60-80 here, okay? The 60-80 put, if you were to take right over here, is something that would have moved a lot of premium because it has high delta, and it's a trade that wasn't within the range here. So if you had something that's you're scalping way far out, it's not something that would have worked here as well, okay? So that's going to be one important thing to remember here. Your strike that you pick is very, very important. Getting something too far out of the money is not going to work. If you guys can't afford that price because you have a small account, then you have to absolutely avoid it and then focus on trading SPY or whatever the case is, okay? So SPY is a totally different ball game, of course. We also gave a SPY play to the team in the free Discord as well. So in the free Discord, we gave the SPY 606 puts, and they went to, I believe, they went from at around, we gave it at 50 cents, it went to a high of 80 cents, right? So almost 80% play on those puts that some members had taken. But you know, overall, very choppy day, and very, very hard to pretty much find a solid entry point. But today, I even mentioned in my Twitter feed that you can see a rejection right off SPX. Okay, so this was the ultimate area to short at 60.92. That's where we constantly see a lot of pullback. That's the area that we see constant pullback. And if you guys look back on my Twitter feed, I said SPX just hit my level 2. So when it hits our level 2 here, going forward, we know that the market trend is going to be towards the upside, okay? So this is going to be very important because Friday it's very possible that we can hit my estimated weekly high at 61.15. So right there and then you see that SPX hit my level 2 at 60.92, and at that point it started to really drop, hit near that 60.76, and eventually picked up again. So we called that out beautifully, that you know the market was going to trade in that range here, okay? Another stock that I tweeted about earlier today as well has to do with SMCI. So SMCI The CEO tweeted Elon Musk, if he makes any sort of positive statement, the stock can move. If he makes any negative statement, the stock can also drop down as well. We call the top on many different stocks. As you guys can see here, NVIDIA was close to hitting our breakout zone, off by 50 cents. But a lot of important things that we see happening today, right? So MSTR is now back in the neutral range. We want to see if this can reclaim 427 before ripping back up, because it still has a chance to go to 492, especially into tomorrow, because of the pending news with the Microsoft, and there's also rumors that may be added into the Nasdaq as well, which it seems like a strong candidate for. Okay, so anyways, we'll see what the market unfolds, but to give you guys a little bit of my prediction, I believe that the S&P 500 is still going to be bullish. You might see a bounce all the way to 60, 65, but you know, just set up the right timing and wait for the right opportunity, because our estimated weekly high is at 61.15 here, and it does look like that's where the market really wants to go. If we can get through the 69, the 60-69, that's where the market will start to break out, and this could be the potential top of Friday. So just be aware of that, because it does look like market wants to really break out, and we may officially call the top on this market as well too if Friday we hit this and it rejects. Okay, so our levels are pristine, and we give you guys all that information on our levels on all these different stocks like ARM. We shared you know, the 142, it constantly rejects. It went to a high of 144 in the bullish breakout range, but didn't really go through. Tesla, we were close, and AMD we call a top on. So many different trades and ideas that we definitely knew right off the bat. SMCI we called the top on. So it's very important to kind of watch this in key detail. Okay, if you guys want this information for yourself, we're going to be dropping more information over the week. Unfortunately, this time we're not going to be sharing that with everyone over the weekend. But once again, check out our levels, are very accurate, and that's how we find these great trades. And it's not even just one trade, we find multiple trades across different things, whether you're scalpers, a person that swings or buys long duration equities, or whatever the case is. We know exactly when the right opportunity to get in and get out is based off our trading models. So if you guys are ready to learn, check out the link below, sign up for our mentorship package, and we'll see you guys there. You also get coaching with myself to help you accelerate your learning and become a overall better trader. So we'll see you guys in the next one, and like always, let's get that money.